EK real spicy with more clips. Don't forget to subscribe and bang on that like button. Now let's get into it.
Hey, but this better be good, god damn it!
Something I have always found interesting is the type of advice that women give to women and the type of advice men give to men. This doesn't go with all women and it doesn't go with all men. But definitely on social media, you'll see a lot of women say, hey, I left a man that was good for me. He did everything I needed, but it just wasn't enough. And then you'll have other women chime in and say, oh my God, I went through the same thing. Just believe you're not selfish for doing what you're doing. This isn't me advocating for people to stay in relationships. You do as you please, you've grown. But us men, when we see our homie in a good relationship, or we see our homie has a good girl and he coming to us talking about, bro, I don't know if I want to be in this marriage. I don't know if I want to be in this relationship. We will tell that man to stay in that marriage. We will tell that man to figure out his relationship, because we as men understand how hard it is to find a good woman out here. But yet, ladies, you tell each other to go out here and break up these marriages or relationships you have because you think you can find better. Interesting.
Question is, why are men saying no to marriage? Good question. Let's get into it, family. Number one, perception of the loss of freedom. I pray that none of you guys choose a spouse that makes you feel like you have to lose yourself in order to be with them. Number two, fears about potential divorce. Number three, unwillingness to make the sacrifices that marriage requires. Number four, men today can get the benefits of a connection with a woman without commitment. Thank you, modern dating. Number five, there is not a lot of messaging about how marriage actually benefits men. Based upon what we see in media, it seems like it's just a contractual agreement that benefits women. But we know there are some benefits, and there are some strong male voices in the men's space have and still advocate for marriage. Again, y'all, I know this ain't popular, but I do believe the enemy is at work in our marriages and in destroying families, and I don't want him to win.
Loss of freedom for men, to me, is self-inflicted. Many men often think that they have to change their core being to be in a relationship with a woman. They let women steer them too much and knock them off their square. We all heard how some women will try and shame men into being different in order to reach their standards. And while some changes are warranted for certain, we have to make sure that the things that we are changing, if it's really necessary, and really understand the reasons why. So basically, if you decide, hey, I want to be this person, and you got to see if those changes align with that. You know what I'm saying? If you just change it for the sake of changing, for someone else to, to appreciate you, then that's a different thing. And you got to really decide if that's really what you want to do or not. Like, for example, some women that say grown men don't play video games, when that's ridiculous. You know what I mean? I know a lot of responsible men who play video games, as long as that doesn't get in the way of your responsibilities. And for a lot of men, it could be mental and emotional break for some guys, and that can be healthy. But what a lot of guys do is, instead of getting with a woman that enjoys video games, they just go off the looks of that woman and they fall in love with that, and they let a woman who really isn't into video games shame them into being someone they're not. And that's just really one example. So to me, I just believe in never losing who you really are. But many women aren't marriage material in the eyes of men. So many women are just out for themselves, and the guys just aren't seeing the juice being worth the squeeze.
Hey, you know that you stole money out of my account? That was money for my kid, heart surgery?
Why is you recording me right now? Like, you trying to...
Don't worry about why I'm recording you. I'm worried about what my money is.
Like, I begged you to take me to that concert. Why wouldn't you take me to the concert?
Because the concert is the least of my worries right now.
I don't care about that. Like,
my kid heart surgery is what I'm worried about right now.
Look, like,
and for you to take my money out of my account just to go to some Beyonce concert, you done lost your mind.
I don't care. Like,
I don't care what you don't care about.
Your voice, like, right now.
Owe me my money.
Ask your baby mom.
She ain't got nothing to deal with this. Nothing to deal with this. To go find me my...
Yo, this can't be real, bro. Gotta be a skit, right? Gotta be. Face blocked off and all of that. What y'all think, man? Hit me in them comments. But the reality of it is, we see this way too often, where some of these types of women put their temporary feelings and euphoria over her man and the overall common goal. And instead of figuring out how to pay it for herself, she takes it out his stash, feeling entitled to his money. Doesn't even apologize. He's lucky it's just the tickets to go to a concert. And if she gets away with it this time, she'll only continue to make moves with his money against his will. Bro, you might as well go ahead and leave now before it gets worse.
To kill him because of the prenup. He was by all accounts rich, and on the day of their wedding his mother presents her with a prenup, saying if they divorced their assets would stay separate, really meaning she'd get nothing. However, the prenup also said that most of the assets would pass to the bride if and only if he died before her while they were still married. And with the fentanyl in the Moscow Mule, it appears he died while they were still married. Plot twist, before he was poisoned that final fatal time, he'd already used the legal system to outsmart her. See, when he started to suspect that something was severely wrong, he transferred his assets into a trust managed by his sister. This way, those assets were no longer really his, and thus would not automatically transfer to his wife upon his death. Also, he made his business partner the beneficiary of his life insurance policy. If he died, his partner could use that money to buy back his part of the business, and none would go to his wife. But what was the final straw for this alleged poisoning? 22,000 square foot, $2 million house. They had been arguing over whether or not to buy it. He said it was just too expensive. And on March 4th, he died. And on March 5th, she closed on the house.
This that shit, yo. This is what I be talking about. And many times as men, we see the signs and still don't take action to leave. Right? And so he did at least look to make the move that he did. But he still took the ultimate sacrifice in the end.
A billionaire's wife has an affair with a male, and this most shameful of cuckoldry inevitably falls on the head of the NBA's nicest guy. Since becoming a couple with Amy in 1994, Duncan has given her nothing but undivided love. One reason Duncan waited until after college to enter the NBA draft was to honor his mother's wishes, and also to spend his college years alongside his girlfriend. Even after entering the glamorous NBA, Duncan remained a hopeless romantic. In 2000, the Orlando Magic tried everything to recruit Duncan, but because Coach Rivers prohibited players from bringing girlfriends on the team plane, Duncan chose to forego a 6-year, $68 million mega contract to stay with the more compassionate Spurs. A year later, Duncan and Amy officially got married. Amy didn't want to idle at home like other NBA wives. Duncan, supporting her, not only helped her return to her medical career, but also established a medical foundation and entrusted its management to Amy. Little did he know that this substantial fund would become the catalyst for their divorce. In 2012, Duncan suddenly realized something was off with his wife. Every time he came back from an away game and sought affection from his wife, she would make excuses to refuse. Initially, Duncan thought his wife was just tired, but as large amounts of money from the foundation started to go missing, he realized something was amiss. It was only after a private investigator's investigation that the truth came to light. His wife not only had an affair with him, but also took out millions of dollars to help him start a business. Duncan wanted to handle it discreetly at first, but who would have thought his wife would turn against him for her lover? After a 7-year courtship and 12 years of marriage, Duncan might not forgive, but he still gave Amy $7 million. As a man, he has done more than enough, but the wicked often bring trouble upon themselves. After the divorce, Amy was duped by her lover into opening a gym. However, within 2 years, the gym went bankrupt and the lover left her. Amy ended up with nothing, both personally and financially. On the other hand, Duncan, the fool, found happiness. After the divorce, he fell in love with Vanessa, an American reality TV star. She not only surpasses Amy in looks and social status, but also deeply respects Duncan's hobbies. Duncan also learned from his previous marriage, paying more attention to his personal image, no longer just going out in shorts and a t-shirt.
Well, this story is a better ending, wasn't it? She turned against him. And even with all of that, he gave her $7 million. And she probably thought she was on easy street. And she ended up losing it all in the end. Now, women often say they want a generous man. And it sounds like he did everything a man really could do. You know what I mean? Nobody's perfect. But he helped elevate her and supported her in her own endeavors. But as we spoke about before, man, sometimes when you help so much, it breeds discontent. It turns what should be appreciation into envy and even hatred. Self-sabotage is real, man. We see it all the time. And a lot of these women start thinking that the man thinks that they're better than them because they've helped them so much, or they just don't even really believe that they deserve all of that help and support. You know, it's a lot of internal issues that people got to deal with, and that could be a real thing. And again, you could be loyal, supportive, present, a good father, all of the above. Still get played, still get cheated on, money stolen from you, and you still have to shell out assets at the end. This is why so many men are bypassing the traditional marriage setup, because they could do a lot of right and still end up on the short end of everything. But yes sir, let me know what y'all think. Hit me in them comments. This is EK Real Spicy, and I'm signing out. And I'm gonna check y'all in the next video. We out.